How's it going, YouTube? Coming in today with another video, and today, guys, the video is going to be the new Maliss support post-Alliance Insight. Now, this is going to be really powerful because of the fact that we already have something Tachyon that's coming out around the corner that's going to allow Riw to just go ahead and search Lancea, which is insane, and something that we don't really love to see happening. But the deck does get some brand new support in Alliance Insight, which is going to be fantastic because it does allow you some lines through the Lancea. That's one thing that really appeals to me because right now it's really tough where you have to have called by or cross out or else it's pretty much over, and that's really tough. But with the new cards, I really do think that like the new Agnister cards are going to be better than the new Maliss cards in general. I just think that they're better extenders as well. I'm really excited for this, and I did play around the cards for, I don't know, like 10-15 minutes, and I already found some lines that are pretty crazy to help you beat Lancea. So I'm going to show you those later too, the deck list that I have working right now, and we'll go over a little bit more too. So if you haven't already checked out my sponsors over on RW, Cloud, Gem, Arla, Imperium, Dragonshield, or Grimoire, definitely go ahead and do so, all down below in the description. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already because we are on our way to 30,000 and I'm so excited. I can't wait for that celebration. It's going to be a really good time. I really do want to hop right on into our first slide here, though, talking about March Hare. I don't love this card, and I think Bestials are going to be better. They're just bodies on the board that also are DD Crow, whereas, like, the Hare is cool, but, like, you'll find in testing that it's really awkward that the Hare doesn't come back once banished. Yeah, you can recur, like, a banished Maliss card, which is better for, like, chessy lines, but this card is going to be a pseudo-Bestial, and I could see that, like, if Druis gets put to 1, then sure, maybe we, like, bump up Hare, but I can only see Hare being, like, a 1 of or a 2 of. I just don't really love the card right now. I think that it's really good for what it does, but as long as there's Bestials in the game, I just don't really see a point to be playing more copies of Hare where I'd rather just run Bestials because they objectively do more. The next one up here is going to be Maliss in the Mirror. This card reminds me a lot of like Cross Dominator, but I really do like this card a lot because it is an extender at the same time, which is weird to think about, but you target a face-up monster your opponent controls, banish a monster that's a Maliss from your hand or face-up field, then if you do, negate the targeted monster's effects to the end of the turn. Which is pretty crazy because not only are you able to negate something, but you're able to dodge, you're able to like reset your links or your monsters. So it's pretty good for what it is. And then if this card is banished, you can target one of your Maliss cards in your grave, banish it, and then you can add a similar Maliss card. So if you banish a spell, add a spell. Banish a trap, add a trap. And I think that's really, really good. That's one thing, too, where it's kind of crazy that we get a card like this. And, of course, this is something that you can banish off, like, Hare, right? And that's one thing where you'd probably want to banish this off Hare, because then this can go ahead and banish something else as well. Overall, it's going to be an 8 out of 10 card. I think that's going to be really solid for the deck moving forward. Of course, still that banishing problem, but as long as you have the extenders to even put up, like, a white binder, even if you do get Lancea, you can set this, and at least you can reset your white binder on your opponent's turn and still get those really important graveyard banishes off. So we have our brand new Agnister cards, and these cards are going to be absolutely insane. So we have backup Agnister. You're not really ever using this for being a tuner outside of searching it with like Wicked, but I'm not even doing Wicked lines yet. Maybe that'll change. But if you control a Cyberus monster, special summon from the extra deck, you can also summon this card from your hand for free. And then if this is normal or special, you can add a Dark Cyberus monster, then discard a card. Let me tell ya, all the Maliss monsters, Dark Cyberus. But you know what else is a Dark Cyberus? Wizard Agnister. This card's also very good. If you control a Cyberus monster, special summon from the extra deck, you can target one Cyberus monster in your grave, special summon both this card and that monster in defense, and then you're Cyberus locked. You can also banish this from your field or grave and then target a monster your opponent controls' chances of battle position. Won't really come up, maybe it does, but I don't really see that being too important, but it's there. But this is really cool because even if you just open the backup, I'll show you a line here in just a few minutes where you can just use this to go full combo, which is really nice, and it works through Lancea. That's one thing that the deck was really missing, but I think these cards are actually absurd. Now the other new card here is going to be the Code. This card's really solid. It's a Link 5. On Link Summon, you can activate this effect, and then you can't special summon for the rest of the turn. You special summon as many Cyberus monsters with 2300 attack from your grave as possible to arrows this card points to. And then it's really crazy because quick effect, if your opponent activates anything, you contribute one link monster this card points to, and then negate the activation and banish the card. So this card's an absolute unit, and I like this card a lot. It's a soul charge, and so all your Maliss monsters can be brought back, your Transco Talkers, your Heat Souls, everything with 2300 attack can just come back to the board. So definitely very strong. You are just shut out for the rest of the turn, but I almost feel like that just never really mattered at that point. It's a really strong card. Also, a side note about 7th Ascension. This card is like $22 right now to $30 right now on TCGPlayer. There's a couple copies, I believe, for $22, $23. This might be a card that you want to pick up, but at the end of the day, Droll is going to be pretty popular still, and this is going to be not as great of an option just because if you have some Tachyon and you can get into the card that you need to search, let's say like Lancea or Ice, the Droll won't hurt as bad, but I also don't heavily recommend getting these just because I don't really feel like it's as optimal as just getting like your 7th Tachyons. But like I was saying, if you just open up the backup, you can go ahead here and add your wizard, discard anything, it doesn't really matter. Then you're going to make your link decoder, special summon the wizard from your hand, and then bring back the backup. So you already have several bodies on the board with just the backup and a discard, which is really solid. So now you can go ahead and go into your Splash Mage, splash back one of your monsters, it doesn't really matter which one, go into your Transco Talker, then your link decoder will reborn, Transcode can bring back the splash and then go into your Heat Soul. So now we already have like the old Cyberse end board, which was the Transcode pointing to the Heat Soul. Neither are targeted, they're both super boosted, and then you're getting draws. This is still like a pretty solid way to end your turn if you need to end it like this, because this is still pretty hard to crack. We're going to go ahead here and pay our 1,000, draw a card, and then use all 3 here to go into the Act Code. Now, Act Code will go ahead and reborn out your Transco Talker and your Heat Soul. And it's really nice too because now these two are co-linked, so you have that as well. But just through a Lancea situation, you still have a draw on your opponent's turn, you have the Act Code negations, you have the rest of the non-engine that you bricked on, right? Then you had this for protection as well, which is really nice. Now, Dormouse backup is going to be the most YouTube combo that you can find by itself. But what happens when you're under Lancea? And it could be any name, it doesn't matter which one you have. But let's say that Lancea is in effect. You're going to go into your link decoder, special summon out your backup here, and we're just able to combo as usual. But now we can bring back our Dormouse, which is really cool. Go into our splash. Not a whole lot changes right away. So we're going to go into our transcode, bring back decoder, go into splash, and now we're going to use splash in the Dormouse here, and then go into our white binder. White binder is going to set the MTP07. Then we'll use all of them here to go into our Act Code. And then we're going to summon out the transcode and the white binder. So now the white binder can't be targeted, which is cool. So when you bring it back to the board, it also has a zone where it can't be targeted. And then you also have the MTP. So you have a lot of different ways that you can interact here. Yes, you hypothetically could have just set like GWC, but at the same point, you don't have a White Rabbit engraved. So if you start with White Rabbit and you don't start with Dormouse, then it's a lot better because you can just set GWC and you don't have to set MTP right away. But in this scenario, you do have the non-targeting banish, you have the white binder, you have your Act Code. So you have a lot of different ways where you can interact with your opponent, which is absolutely fantastic. None of this is set in stone yet, but this is the working deck list that I have. Playing 3 of the backup and 1 of the wizard is just seeming to be the most standard ratio. You're only going to play 1 of the Maliss in the mirror. You don't need to play more of this. It's just the one of, but it is a really solid card. Again, it doesn't do anything on its own. You do need a Maliss card with it, so that is going to be something that is a little awkward. So we just play 1. It is searchable, so that's fine. I said this before. Ransom just said that it will search a spell card, so I was imagining that we're going to get something else, and we did, so that's cool. Solemn Strike on the side, I think I like this a lot more than Judgment right now. I think that Strike is just like overall the most solid one. I'm only playing 2 of the hair. Again, I don't really think that is going to be the best one. I think it's fine, but it doesn't bring itself back, and that's really awkward. I really don't like that. Now, it is cool, though, that it is like a Bestial. It's a quick effect, so you can use it during either player's turn, which is pretty efficient. That's something that I do think is really nice. With the new cards, we are not running Shifter. You absolutely could try to, but I'm on the Ashes, the Fuas, the Nibs, the Impulses, the Imperiums. I wanted to play as much non-engine as possible, but I'm also not even playing cards like Dotscaper because I don't really feel like you need it anymore post Alliance Insight. I know that some people are talking about the fact that like you don't need Dotscaper right now, but like I'm still playing it because I think the card's worthwhile. I think that's very strong still. But overall, this is the deck list that I'm looking at right now. I think that it's been really efficient in testing, and I hope that you have a lot of fun with it. And then let me know if you make any changes moving forward, because we haven't gotten to Alliance Insight yet, so there's going to be a lot of changes with a lot of the ratios moving forward, I'm sure. But if you enjoyed today's video, definitely let me know down below in the comment section. I can't wait to hear from more of you, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Thank you.